We'll see now if we can sustain it. Then I think we can talk about, hey, are we kind of trying to replicate of what happened back in the 90s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s?
Do you still feel like these two of the better players are really good? You still got one of the better players?
I think both guys, Michael DeVoe and Jordan Usher, are really good basketball players. They know that they've got to be really good for us this year, and it doesn't have to be all scoring. They got to be at a high level of just being good basketball players. But there's a lot of guys in this league that are really good, and the bottom line is, for us to be successful, some of our young guys have to be better. We're going to have to continue to improve, and but there's a lot of good players in this league. But the good news is, this isn't tennis or golf where it's the individual. The team's got to come together and be really good. It's a team game, and the team chemistry, cohesiveness has got to be at a high level.
Can steals be a big selling point, a strong point of the team this year? Or?
Yeah, we were tremendous. We were elite last year at forcing teams into turnovers with our defense, and we created a lot of offense through that. So we'll have to try to do the same thing this year. Again, we lose Defensive Player of the Year and a first-team All-Defender in Moses. And Alvarado was the first player since Chris Paul to lead the ACC in steals 2 consecutive years. Last guy to do that was Chris Paul. So we lost a lot of defense. And I've been the head coach now going to my 6th year here. My first 5 years, our 5 men have been first-team All-Defense every year. Ben Lammers was Defensive Player of the Year. The second year, he was first-team All-Defense. James Banks was both years first-team All-Defense, and last year Moses Wright was first-team All-Defense. In all 5 years, we led them in shot blocking. That's going to be a big change for us this year. We might not have that shot blocker, so we got to figure that out, and that's where it has to be by committee. So our 5, and I thought that was a good stat. Our 5 men, 5 straight years with first-team All-Defense, and in 5 years we've had 2 guys be Defensive Player of the Year. So we've been a staple of being a defensive team. That being said, we got to go defend, and if we're going to want to win this year and sustain, we're going to be really elite defensively.
What has intrigued you about what Mike Young has done at Virginia Tech in the past?
Well, I love Coach Young. He's awesome, and he's a great coach. They should put his name on the floor at Wofford. I don't know if they have or not, but they need to. What he's done at Wofford, it's unbelievable, and he should be already in the Hall of Fame at Wofford. The guy, he's as good of an offensive coach. The plays that they run, it's incredible. And then defensively, they're as sound, as solid as can be. I think they're going to be really good this year. You got the Illuma kid back. They've got multiple guys back. They've got they have a really good recruiting class. I think I'm a big fan of Coach Young, and for him not to have his name on the court at Wofford, there's no need for that. Needs to happen before the first game this year. Think of the success that he had there, and he's doing the same thing at Virginia Tech. He's been excellent.
Michael sent me over to ask about the corner situation. I know Jose was going to hold you to that if they made the tournament.
Yeah, no, you're right. I told him, I said, guys, I said the only reason. I said, when the season ended, it was kind of hectic, and then we kind of never. And I said, well, we'll have to do it again this year. But I kept the length of my sideburns, so they could, I said that would be. I won't cut the sideburns length just yet, but no, they still want to do things with the hair. I said, let's see how the year goes.
Well, he said maybe if you'd had him for that game.
Yeah, we might have won the game. I agree with that. Yes, yeah.
What do you expect out of Bubba this year?
He's a 5th-year senior, and we need Bubba to, me, I believe, get old and stay old, and we need him to play old. And he's done some games where he's helped us win games without ever scoring a point. And I love Bubba, love him to death, and he's just been awesome for us. And we're gonna need him to score for us this year too.
Josh, NIL's here and everything. What kind of shift have you seen, or what have you seen from that since?
I don't think I think the NIL's. I think it's overrated. When I say overrated, I think it's great for the student athletes. I think it's great. I think the NIL will work itself out. I don't think it's a big deal. I think people are going to get deals here, deals there, but nothing's going to be. Maybe a 1% is going to get something that's life changing. The biggest deal in college athletics is the Alston case. And what's being decided right now in the Supreme Court is there going to be a cap on what you can give. If there's no cap on that, then it just becomes unlimited. You can pay on an educational expense. And to me, where draws the line of an educational expense? At least right now, it's about $5,900. But it's right now at the Supreme Court. If they say there's no cap because of antitrust laws, then it just comes down. And to me, that's a bigger deal because that is based on the school and the budget. Whereas in the NIL, that's just based on the student athlete, and it could be based on social media followers and this or that. So I think that's a difference and I think that's a bigger deal than actually the NIL.
Coach K's final year, what has he meant to basketball? What has he meant to the ACC?
Well, look, I mean, Coach K's one of the greatest to ever coach, regardless of sport. I mean, you don't win 5 titles, 12 Final Fours, 1,000 wins, gold medals. And he's a giant. He's a power player. I mean, he's an icon. He's a legend. But look, there was going to be a time when he was going to leave, and he's impacted so many. And I mean, he's changed the game for the better. I will say this though, I think Coach Shire's recruiting better than Coach K. They've got their recruiting class coming. I'm like, goodness gracious. Same thing with Coach Davis. I'm like, everyone talked about there was going to be a dip with when Coach Williams and Coach K left. Coach Hubert Davis and Coach John Shire recruiting better. It's unbelievable. So that's why I keep saying the league's going to be really good year in and year out.